Good afternoon or good evening. This is Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, day number 8 on the road. And I am in Amarillo, Texas at the Love's Truck Stop on the west side of Amarillo. And I've got about 55 hours worth of growth on my face. And we're going to get started here. Let me grab my razor over here. And introducing the razor for the evening is a Frederick Reynolds pre-1891. It is a wedge, a very nice wedge. It's got imitation tortoise scales, got a little goober right there. And so this is, and another one over here. This is the second or number 2 of the Frederick Reynolds that I own. Both of them are wedges, and they were both bought from Griffith Shaving Supplies. I think that's the proper name. And I want to show you something on the soap, the Martin de Condre that I've been using. I just poured off the water that I had sitting on top, working it in to my face. And for our brush this evening, we're using a QED Select Manchurian Silver Tip Badger in nice faux garnet. It's a 24 millimeter, and it's a very nice brush. Handle's a little small for my hand. But beyond that, it is a lovely brush, and I love it very much. Now, I've been on the road, and for 8 days, I've had 4 or 5 shaves on the road since I left Houston a week ago today, so day is number 8. But I want you to see here, if you can see it, on the lip around here, I have used about 1/32 to 1/16 of the soap off the top. Martin de Condre fills their jars right even to the very top, and I'm only down, after having used this now 4 or 5 shaves, been out for 8 days. I have had 3 or 4 other shaves using this same jar at home. Just one-off shaves using that, because I've had the Martin de Condre now for a few weeks at the house. And so let's get started and get the brush lathered up, get it good and thick. I don't think I need to make it that thick, because I've been getting very good results. Been getting very good results. I guess the best way to say it is with Martin de Condre, you don't have to load it like you hate it. Like some people say. All right. If you're watching me on YouTube, this broadcast, this episode, thank you. Hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate you stopping by. I've been getting a lot of hits and comments, a lot of views, and I appreciate that very much for those of you good people that are watching my videos. I know they're a little bit long. You can run them a little bit fast if you want to. That don't bother me. I just appreciate you. It's like my friend in Oregon, my high school buddy that I went to go visit back in April. And I visit him when I get a load up to Oregon from time to time. Well, that is to say, I get a load from time to time. Every time I go to Oregon, I always stop and see him. He says, "You're becoming quite the influencer, aren't you?" You know, I don't know about that. I just shave because I love to shave with a straight razor. I was 55 years old when I found this hobby, and I'm not about to turn it loose until I am dead in the grave. And so, traditional straight razors, shaving, honing, boy, it just suits me. It gives me, it's my hobby. It's what gives me excitement and pleasure in a very good way. You know what? That's good enough for right now. That is good enough. And so, YouTube, you're watching me over there. Great, thank you. Go on over to the Shaving Cadre, make an account, join the conversation, have some fun. We've got a new, he's had an account with the Shaving Cadre for a while, but he's becoming more active, and he credits me, and I thank you for that, for becoming more active again, or wanting to become more active again, and that's Love to Shave. I think love is spelled L-U-V with a number 2 and the word shave. All right, Frederick Reynolds, nice high gloss polish on that thing. Using a very light pressure, letting the weight of the blade do the work as a wedge is supposed to do, and did that little bit of a pass right there, did just fine. Very fine indeed. Had a good hot shower. Floor is a little wet. It's a modern Love's truck stop. It's got a nice tile on the wall, tile on the floor. Got a fan above my head. Got handrails all the way around, which is very nice, especially for an old guy like me. Doing very nice. So on Wednesday morning, if you saw my last posting at the Shaving Cadre, last Wednesday morning I woke up after delivery on Tuesday on the site of the receiver. We call him the consignee. That's who the shipment was consigned to or shipped to. And sometimes a ship to and a consignee can be different. That's because they're holding the product for the consignee, the receiver. I love this Martin de Condre. And so I was very much expecting and anticipating a backhaul out of San Diego, which means I go from Hayward, California to Los Angeles, get washed out at the LA tank wash, and you've seen me shave down there before, if you're keeping up. But my guy, my dispatch manager, was taking a day off on Wednesday. It's his anniversary. Happy anniversary, Jim. And so he calls me on Tuesday morning and tells me that we've got the load. And he says, as soon as I get the paperwork, I'll send it to you. You'll have what you need to get loaded on Thursday in San Diego. Then I get a call from him later in the day. And so he says the load's on hold, and he's taking a day of vacation on Wednesday, so this call came on Tuesday, late afternoon, and he says it's on hold and I should call his assistant on Wednesday morning to confirm the load. The load for San Diego. And, you know, in fairness and honesty, I can't say that there was anything that happened as a result of the assistant getting involved. This is about the broker and the shipper, and the broker brings the information to us, to his assistant. My guess is, I still haven't gotten a full straight story on why it fell through, but it fell through. But I did have some words with the assistant, that she wasn't taking the time and being patient to understand the details of where I was. She assumed I was in a certain place and I was not in it. I was not at the washout. I still had to drive down to the washout on Wednesday in Los Angeles. And so as I'm talking to the assistant, as I say, she thinks I'm at the wash rack in Los Angeles, and I said, no, I'm still at the shipper or the consignee in Hayward, and I haven't left yet. That's where I was. I was still sitting there. Wednesday morning, I spent Tuesday night, Wednesday morning on their yard. I wasn't going to get out in San Francisco, Oakland traffic. After they had me unloaded on Tuesday, I was going to wait. And they let me. They're normally pretty good about letting the drivers stay overnight if they need to. Because there's no truck stops. In the whole of the San Francisco, Oakland area, there are no truck stops in the area. In that whole, you've got to drive 60 miles out to Ripon or Lodi, or you got Santa Nella to the south on I-5, and and they're not that big. Yeah. Anyway, so always very inconvenient. So you try to make the best use of where you are, and the companies that I've gone to in the San Francisco, Oakland area, if I've needed to stay overnight, have always been very good to let me. Because they understand too, there's no truck stops. Where am I supposed to go? So I didn't get the load, and I'm talking to this person. She thinks I'm at the wash rack, and I said, no, I'm not at the wash rack. I'm still at the shipper, or the consignee. And I said, look, it's about 5 hours. I'm going to go down California Highway 99, down through the Central Valley, Fresno, Merced, Modesto. And I told her, I said, I'm going to lay up. If I haven't heard from you in 5 hours, my plan is to go to Tehachapi and pull up at the truck stop there. There's a nice Lowe's truck stop there. And wait for your call or wait for Jim on Thursday. She finally got the picture. And she never did call me back for the rest of the day, so I went to Tehachapi and pulled up. It was about a 6-hour drive. And so the next morning, which would have been yesterday morning, Thursday morning, I called my dispatch manager, Jim, and I told him what had happened. He said, yeah, they just didn't have the load ready and I can't find one, so go ahead and come on back. Come back empty. And that's all right. I don't make as much money, of course, if I'm not loaded. I have empty miles, loaded miles. I don't get paid as much on empty miles as I do loaded miles. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. That was a fabulous first pass. Everything is working to perfection. The razor, the soap, the brush, even the hot water, kind of. It's got one of these water saver spigots, and I hate it, but it is hot. So that's something. So last night, after leaving Tehachapi, I left Tehachapi about 9 o'clock Pacific time yesterday morning. And I got into Williams, Arizona. And of course, it was not a shave night, so I wasn't concerned about shower and shave. A little bit later, it was about 7:30, I want to say. Arizona is still on Pacific time, whereas they like to say they're continuously on Mountain time. I think I got that right. I could have gotten that wrong. Maybe they're continuously on. Let's see, it's summer, daylight saving times are the same as California. No, they're continuously on Mountain time. Now wait a minute. In the fall, standard time, California Pacific time, we'll go back an hour. So it is Arizona that had to change. Not change, but I'm not right. I don't have that calculation right. Because in the fall, if they're on the same, at standard time, if they're at the same time, then, or with mountain time, never mind. I'm sure Handle Barber Dave will set me straight on that. And speaking of Handle Barber Dave, let me call out my usual crew and give them some kudos with Handle Barber Dave and Major Rich and Nurse Dave and Bill M and Scuttle Soap and Lukey 3262, and now we've got Love to Shave, and a special shout out to somebody who may be watching from YouTube, and that is the Lathering. And I'm trying to get him over. He don't know it yet, but in my mind, I'm heading that direction to get him over to the Shaving Combat. Nothing especially amazing on the road. I'm continuing to hear stories about future in the next few weeks. Shortages of diesel exhaust fluid. Just diesel fuel is already being reported as being short in the east. Haven't heard such reports for the west, but they surely are not far behind. And new today was shortages of coming shortages of diesel motor oil. And of course, I'm not a mechanic and I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. I know what diesel exhaust fluid is because I fill up my truck with it every 3 or 4 days, or more often as needed. And diesel fuel, of course, but the oil, I've never driven a truck that has burnt oil, and I've had to put a lot of oil into it. I haven't had to do that. I carry 2 gallons of oil in my side box, and 4 gallons of antifreeze if I need it, which here, with this new truck that I've had now for 4 years, I haven't needed it. And so somebody's got it in mind to shut the trucking industry down, it sounds like. And where I'm seeing a lot of my information come from Overdrive Magazine, which is a trucking magazine. I suppose they would know. It must be nice to manufacture a crisis only to come up with a solution that nobody wants. Better. Okay. Doing fine. 34 minutes and ready to start the third pass. I started doing that stroke here lately in the last several shaves, opening my mouth and getting right there, right down into the corner, right up at the opening of the mouth. So far I haven't sliced my mouth open, sliced my lip open. I will be doing a head shave after the face shave off camera as usual, and I'm using a gold dollar razor for that purpose. Those of you that are not familiar with where Williams, Arizona is, that I made mention of a bit ago, it's, I don't know how many miles away it is from the Grand Canyon, but if you're on Interstate 40, it'll say Williams and the Grand Canyon. And so right there at the very exit where my Love's truck stop is. And so it's very close to the Grand Canyon. And it's just beautiful too, I might add. The parking spot that I had last night, you could look out the window, the windshield, and look across a valley, and it's got all kinds of big hills and evergreen trees. And it's just beautiful. Now I was up this way last winter, it seems to me, or early January, February, and there was a big fire up here. And you could see it. And we were worried, is it going to come to us? We survived, if there was any doubt. Those little bit of strokes up around my ear give me a jump start on my head shave. That lavender, the Martin de Convey, just a lovely scent. I kind of downplayed it when I first used it, but it's really come to grow on me, and I like it very much. Well, I've kind of run out of things to talk about. Well, today is the 24th, Friday the 24th. I suppose you're keeping up with what's going on in the news today. Not yet. I haven't even started on my head shave yet. They want me out. Well, I won't say anything more about that, with what's going on in the news, other than to say glorious day. right, let's wash it off and see how we did. Put a little alum on my hands so my fingers would stick on my face. I think we got it. All right, we're going to go with that. We're going to call it an end to the shave. So we use the Frederick Reynolds, looks like about a 7/8, pre-1891 Wedge with imitation tortoise scales. Gave a very fine shave, still using the same edge that was on it when I bought it. Use the QED Select Manchurian Silver Tip Badger, and we used as our soap the original Martin de Condre. So that's our shave for the evening, and we thank you for joining us, and don't forget to check out the shaving cadre. We'll see you next time down the road.